Hello Aquarius, and welcome to my channel Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus placements, looking at your connection between you and the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. We'll be pulling for all three sides of the connection, so we're going to look at your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story, so we're looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. This middle section is looking at what is the deeper purpose of this connection and the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. Friendly reminder that these are general readings and they are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So do please remember to take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and to leave what does not. On that note, especially if you're a cross watcher, just know that this whole reading can be reversed. If that is the case for you, that is totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps and leave what doesn't. Last thing is that any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading or coaching session with me is in the description box below. All right, Aquarius, let's jump on in. We're going to start with looking at overall energy through oracle cards first, and then we'll dive deeper into the story with tarot as we progress. So let's start, Aquarius, with looking at your energy toward the person that you are dealing with and are needing to learn the most from right now. Confusion. I hear mixed signals. I feel like that's the biggest thing I've been hearing since I started shuffling. So you have this confusion with reciprocity. I feel like you're struggling to figure out what this person feels, what they want. Even if you're in a relationship with this person, I don't know. It's there's just so much that I feel like isn't coming through clear here. And I feel like it's making it really hard for you to figure out how to navigate this. It's you're getting mixed signals from this person. One day they're all in, the next they're really withdrawn. You have soulmate recognition, then you have money versus love here. I never see this money versus love card as literally talking about money versus love. I usually see it as kind of surface level versus deeper kind of connection, looking for things, looking for a relationship that is on the surface versus looking for one that is actually a deep connection. And I feel like that's what you're wanting here with this soulmate recognition card. And I feel like you're seeing the potential of that in this connection. It's you recognize this person's soul almost. I know that kind of, I don't know if that sounds exactly right, but I feel like you see them for who they are beneath the surface, but I feel like you might be dealing with someone that's used to more surface level connections, which is making it really hard, just the connection itself for you really hard. So let's see what we've got for this person's energy toward you, Aquarius. I mean, yeah, there's the wild card. There's the inconsistency. I feel like it's this person is so unpredictable. Quality time with separation. It's things are good and, you feel like things are improving. And then I feel like as things start to deepen and maybe get more serious or you start to connect deeper, this person becomes more and more elusive. Almost. So I feel like their energy is really chaotic. But I also feel like there's more to it than that. I feel like this person, again, has never really experienced a deep kind of soul level connection. And I feel like this is something that has that potential, but it's also something that I feel like makes them really uncomfortable, not because you make them uncomfortable, but because they're used to surface level connections. So they're used to things feeling, I mean, I guess surface level is still the best way to describe that. So I feel like they enjoy spending time with you and they like being in this connection, but I almost feel like it pushes them out of their comfort zone in some way, and that makes it really hard for them to know how to handle it. Truth of this connection between Aquarius and this person. Deja vu. So you've kind of been stuck in a cycle with this person. I said stuck, and then this trapped card came out. Healing here, too. You have this healing card. So it's like you've been stuck in kind of like on a merry-go-round with this person, just like around and around we go. And it feels like you're wanting this connection to develop into that potential that you see it having the potential to be. But I also feel that it's like no matter how honest you are, how upfront you are, like I feel like you're always kind of getting, like this person has like really, really big walls that I feel like you're having a hard time breaking through. So then, you know, they start to be elusive and they pull away, and then that starts to make you go, wait, do they even have feelings for me at all? Or do they care? Do they want this? And then again, like you get closer and then things start to develop and then they pull away and you're like, what the hell is going on here? So I feel like this is a very confusing, like it's definitely like a no wonder you're confused kind of energy, especially kind of given the way that they're acting, and like especially not really knowing like what this person is thinking or feeling. It's going to be hard to understand what's going on here, especially if they're not like open and communicative too. So you're just kind of like trying to read in between the lines. There's probably a lot of overthinking in this energy too. All right, overall theme of this reading for Aquarius. I can even take that one too. Unlocked potentials with accept for all it is worth. Some people never change here. Then you have you moved on, but also it still hurts. So this is interesting. So I feel like this connection has been really challenging and difficult specifically because of the potential that you see in it and the depth that you feel in this connection. I feel like, again, like you're connected with this person on a soul level, and that complicates things even further, because I feel like if somebody was, if it was anybody else kind of acting like this, giving mixed signals, being the way that they are, it'd be easy for you to go, I don't want to deal with this. But because it's this person and because of the depth that you feel, it's hard for you to just move on or move forward from this, because you feel such a draw to it. I feel like there's this hope that this person is eventually going to kind of step up here, because I feel like there's just this like elusiveness, but it's so interesting because I do feel like this person does value this connection. So I don't know. This is definitely complicated. So my goal is to bring forth some clarity in this, but let's just see what the hell we've got here, because this is so much to navigate. It's definitely not black and white. And that's the biggest thing, right? Like a lot of times we can't take people's actions like so, because a lot of people aren't always acting from how they really feel. I don't know. There's a lot here. So let's just keep going. All right. Aquarius' side of this connection, reciprocity with confusion. Aquarius' energy toward the person they are dealing with. Nine of Cups. I mean, that's, yeah, it's like you see this person as genuinely what you've been waiting for, what you've been wanting. But then the Chariot in reverse. But things always seem to come to a halt. It's like it never progresses past a certain point. So you're at a crossroads here, I feel like. Because I don't think that there's a whole lot of communication that you get from this person, especially the Page of Swords in reverse. There's the King of Pentacles. So, you know, you might talk to them, but that doesn't mean there's like communication. That doesn't mean that there's, that you're able to really sit down and be open and vulnerable with them and then with you. And I mean, sometimes even when you are open and vulnerable with people who are super closed off or who have a lot of walls up, it's kind of like talking to a wall almost, because it's like they're not really taking it in, because communication is a two-way street. We can talk and be honest and vulnerable all day long, but if somebody isn't willing to like receive that, it can make it super hard. So I feel like you're just at this crossroads of not really knowing what to do and how to handle this, because again, you see the potential, but like, you're like, I just don't know. I don't know what else I can do. You could be dealing with an earth sign, Capricorn, Virgo, or Taurus. You definitely do not have to be. But I did see that King of Pentacles energy there. I want to pull a few more here. This is more for Aquarius' side of this connection. Yeah, you don't want to lose this person. I feel like they mean a lot to you. I feel like you care about them, about the connection. You definitely don't want to lose this. But then there's a lot of fear here where it's like, but it's almost like if I do lose this or if this doesn't work, I'm never going to find anything better, or this is as good as it's ever going to get or ever going to be. And I think that almost has you trapped too, because you're almost like, it's almost hard for you to see past the potential in a way. Also, there's this King of Swords energy. This could be you, or this is also air sign energy. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. But you don't have to be dealing with that either. I feel like this has you really in your head, though. This connection has you really in your head. It's like this person is so hot and cold. Their energy is genuinely so confusing. Even just like seeing the energy and reading it, like, it's so hard. I can understand why it's so hard for you to figure out how to best handle this, especially because there's that potential here. So I feel like I want to know more about them and where they're at, because, and I feel like you're like, yeah, me too, because there's so much, it's like you're trying to make sense of their energy, but you have like nothing to go off, because I feel like they're so closed off. This person's energy toward you, Aquarius, quality time with wild card. This person's energy toward Aquarius, please. Okay, so 10 of Pentacles. I feel like my reaction to that card is like how you feel in this connection. Hang on, let me keep the 9 of Swords. Ooh, okay, that's starting to make a little bit more sense here. Pentacles in reverse. The World. Ooh, I don't like that. The Justice in reverse. Okay, this is actually making a lot more sense. And then the Four of Wands. Okay, Four of Wands in reverse. With the Chariot in reverse. Okay, so this is kind of giving... This is trying to help us understand this Chariot in reverse, like why things kind of come to this dead stop here. Because the first card out is the Ten of Pentacles. Like, I feel like this person really sees this connection as something that is so full of wonderful things, so full of abundance. It's like it aligns with what it is that they, you know, truly want and truly desire. But then boom, Nine of Swords. And this is where things start to make a little bit more sense, because I feel like this connection brings out a lot of insecurity in this person, feelings of not being good enough, feelings of, you know, being afraid that they're going to mess this up or they're going to hurt you or whatever the case is. And I feel like that's why you experience this energy of them withdrawing and going into this energy of being very cold. Is I feel like in their mind, if they keep things surface level, first of all, they're not going to get as hurt. And second of all, you know, they're not going to fail at this, essentially. So with the Two of Pentacles in reverse, I feel like that's where it's like their priorities are really unbalanced, because their priority is protecting themselves. Their priority is to not essentially get hurt. And that, I mean, any kind of connection, any kind of relationship requires a vulnerability, right? It requires a willingness to open up, a willingness to potentially get hurt. I mean, that's what love is all about. It's opening yourself up to the potential of getting hurt, but also doing it with somebody that you can trust. And I feel like this person struggles to trust. I feel like they've been through certain things in their life that has made it really hard for them to trust that other people like have their best interest at heart. And I feel like you've done everything you can to prove that. And I think that that's what's so hard, is this is very much out of your control. Like, you really have shown up in this in the best way that you know how. It doesn't mean you haven't made mistakes. I mean, we all make mistakes, but when it comes to like showing that you care and showing that, you know, you want this person and this connection to work out, I do truly feel like you've you know, put in what you can. And I think that it's really hard, because they're, with the Justice in reverse, they're the ones not taking accountability for their actions. You know, a lot of people are just reacting to the way that they feel and not actually taking a second to take a step back and understand what's going on. I used to be somebody that was very like that. I was very hot and cold in a lot of my relationships in the past before I had done any healing, because when I started feeling insecure, instead of like dealing with those insecurities and actually facing those, I would distance myself, or I would sabotage the connection to try to protect myself from those insecurities being proven correct, when in reality, acting from the place of insecurity and proved those insecurities correct anyway. So it's so interesting, because I definitely do feel like this person has feelings for you. I feel like there's somebody that they really, especially with the Ten of Pentacles, to me, like the Ten of Pentacles is greater than the Nine of Pentacles. It's like something they see as part of their life long term. But I feel at the same time, it's like they're not capable of showing up for it in the way that you truly deserve, because they have so much insecurity and fear and anxiety around relationships because of their lack of healing that's really holding them back. So that's keeping this connection stuck in a cycle here. And I think that, you know, it's hard when we know that there's a lot of potential and we're like, if this person could just let go, or if they could just open up or be vulnerable or whatever, then things could be so wonderful and so good. And though that might be true, that doesn't mean that this is your only path to being able to be loved in the way that you deserve. I feel like this person has a very... this is the best way I could put it, like pessimistic mindset about maybe love and relationships. And that probably stems from being hurt in the past. So they expect to get hurt, or they expect relationships to fail, or they expect things to go wrong. And therefore, since that's the case, they want to keep things surface level because it hurts less, right? If you're less invested emotionally, if you're less invested in the connection, you're not going to get hurt as much. So if you have this expectation that things are going to end, you're naturally going to keep people at a distance, because it keeps you in this safe place of protecting yourself, even though that also ultimately keeps you from having the love that you truly deserve and desire. So that's something that this person needs to deal with. And I think so much of the time when we really love and care about someone else, we're like, well, I want to show them what a safe space looks like, right? Like, I want to help them heal. I want to help them, you know, I want to love them into realizing that love can be good. But, and that's a wonderful sentiment. And I think that for the right person, having that energy and that mindset can absolutely be beneficial for both parties. But to me, and what I'm seeing in this energy is this is somebody who's not doing the healing. They're not taking accountability. They're not doing the work. We can heal in relationships with the right people for sure, but when we're trying to heal somebody that isn't doing the healing or taking accountability for the things that they do, then we really just find ourselves running into that brick wall over and over and over again. And even if you make a dent in it and maybe you break a little bit of it down, they're working double, overtime to try to build that back up because their biggest fear is letting people in. So this definitely feels like somebody who really, really struggles with experiencing the depth that is possible in this connection. And there's nothing that like you can do to really change that. And I think that that's where you're needing to make sure that you're protecting your heart here and that you're not just absolutely pouring into a connection with somebody who isn't willing or capable to do the same for you. One of the hardest lessons, but like also one of the most freeing lessons that I've learned is that we cannot take other people's capacity to love personally, because other people's capacities to love is about their healing and their growth and the, how deep they've met themselves. It doesn't have anything to do with us. So when somebody isn't capable of loving us well because of their lack of healing or whatever the case is, it's a reflection of how they're needing to heal and grow. But there's always something that, we're being asked to address when we're stuck in these situations, because when we can't change the situation, we're always being asked to change ourselves. So the goal is to really look at, what is this helping me? What is this trying to help me heal? How is this trying to help me grow, evolve? Because so much of the time when we are spending our time, one of the number one ways that trauma starts to show up in our relationships, or a lack of healing shows up in our relationships, is trying to get people who don't choose us, value us, or love us consistently to choose us, value us, and love us consistently. So I feel like there's something deeper going on here that is keeping this cycle at play. And also why you're so incredibly drawn to them and to this person too. So, kind of starting to address those things, I feel it can really help you break out of this cycle and ultimately receive the love that you do truly deserve. So in between this connection, you have trapped with deja vu. I'm going to dive deeper into this, looking at the deeper purpose of this and the best way for you to move forward in alignment with your higher self. And then I have an advice card to pull from your spiritual team at the very end. Thank you so much, Aquarius, as always, for your support of my channel. I do obviously hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing and all of the wonderful things that you deserve and desire on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Aquarius.